But guys, it's time for everyone's favorite segment, which ties into this because there's some cope that's happening, and it is from our boy Seltzy Meltzy in everyone's favorite segment that is called Dave Meltzer, Dumb Moment of the Week. So Dave Meltzer on Goldberg saying AEW is too cheesy for him despite previously competing in WCW and WWE. Look at the way this is framed. Goldberg saying AEW is too cheesy despite, even though he competed in WCW and WWE. So are you calling those cheesy? AEW's way cheesier than either of them. Exactly. I think Goldberg would take less money if the product was better. Jimmy B, absolutely. Thank you, Jimmy B. Good to see you're here. So here's Dave Meltzer now coping about fucking Goldberg. My gut is that it's probably just his asking price must have been high. Get out of here. Well, Tony, you got outbid. So Dave's coping over Ospreay. Oh, fucking Triple H just got outbid. He just got outbid. Deal with it. Tony Khan can get those free agents. But then now it's like, oh, his asking price was too high. Well, which is it? And then the AEW stands are like, do you guys want Goldberg or fucking not? We got AEW Real One coping as well, we're about to get to. But anyways, Dave says, I mean, Tony Khan last year on multiple occasions talked about how he's friends with Bill Goldberg. No, Tony, you're not friends with anyone. You just like to hug everybody and then you know what this is great. So they've been talking and you get the impression he was going to come in, but then he never did. Probably because he's watching the show and is going, what the fuck? And then also, oh, they're friends. So, but what he asked was too high. But Dave always says that Tony can get all the free agents and that Triple H gets outbid, but then they're friends, but he just won't come in just because maybe he asked too much money. Like fucking Dave's just coping. I haven't heard any further details from either side on what like exactly that meant. Batman, if it was a money thing or he just didn't like the product and he's entitled to not like the product, whatever. But my God, WCW, whatever, in that era, although I know he probably didn't like the product all that time too, but my God, WWE, oh, Dave's offended. Oh, Dave's so offended. My God, I mean, WCW and WWE were cheesier. They did cheesies. They had him birth the hand, for God's sake. I got so cheesy. Oh, compared to AEW? Dude, yes. Like, yes, dude. If you, Dave, like you're in the vast minority here when it comes to this, right? I would have had him fucking defend Sting. I'd have had Edge turn heel and go Edge and Christian versus Goldberg and Sting or some shit. I would have did something crazy like that. Yeah, so it's just complete just cope, man. Copium on the highest order of the highest order. And then you also have like WWE Real One here coping. Nobody was looking for Goldberg to join AEW. That's what he says 2 days ago. Boom. At Breakerific comes with the receipts. Here's Real One. On behalf of AEW, we do want Goldberg. See these fickle marks a year ago. This guy, this Real One's a fucking idiot. You know, and I'm trying to get him on the show, like really bad. And it's not going to be like a gotcha, I clown you and I just want to talk to him.
Emotional damage.
These guys are coping like motherfuckers, right? So Dave Meltzer has more to say, though. And speaking of free agents, you know, and the people being released from WWE, etc., Dave Meltzer on AEW's approach to signing future free agents following reported interest in Finn Balor had he not re-signed with WWE. I know that AEW is looking at people whose contracts are up. Whether they get anyone, I don't know, but they're definitely looking. Sometimes you think that they made this big investment with Okada, Ospreay, and Mercedes, and maybe they're not looking for other people, but they still are. All ex WWE or what, guys? Like, come on. What's up, chat? All ex WWE or what? It's like, come on, man. And I'm not trying to roast them, but like, who are they going to sign? Von Wagner? No one's going to sign there. Like, people are like Tyler Black and Rebecca Quinn are leaving there. They'll never leave. WWE, you have to be high on meth. You have to be high. I want to get high. Look at Tony. You got to be like fucking geeked like this right here to think that type of shit. But like, go ahead and sign. I hope they sign Trevor Lee, but like, go ahead and sign people. Like, so again, Meltzer just like, oh, they're definitely looking, but whether they get anyone or don't, I don't know. But they are looking, but maybe they're not. All right. All right. Just making it up as you fucking go. And then Dave Meltzer, goes on to talk about Dave Meltzer on Von Wagner's release. That one surprised me, not like the other ones. The thing on him that surprised me, it wasn't that many years ago where people from the company were talking about that this guy was the future WrestleMania main eventer, which I didn't see. I never did see that. Dave, who the fuck said Von Wagner was a future Hall of Famer? Not PWT, bro. Not nobody over this way. Many were saying in that company not long ago, what, Vince was giving you intel, bro? Who? Terry Taylor? No one was telling you that. He doesn't have charisma to be at that level. Yeah, no one said he's gonna be that level, bro. That's the dirt sheets. That's you, Dave. That's you guys saying, oh, he's gonna be at that level. That's the way Vince sees him. Look at the push he's getting. Batman. I was thinking, what, because he's tall and blonde? This isn't like the 80s. Tall and blonde isn't enough. And as a wrestler, he was passable. The only thing, maybe it was just that people saw him as like, no, this is a guy we can mold. This is a guy we can mold from the ground up. He's an open, like Meltzer, you're not there in NXT seeing how these guys train and seeing what people are receptive to information and who's good at what. And like, you don't fucking see none of that. So shut the fuck up. Anyways, the only thing I know about this one is that there's a main roster decision. So listen to Dave here. Dave goes, even though he was not working on the main roster, he was working in NXT. He is technically, like Zion Quinn, they are main roster wrestlers. Why? Because Zion did a job to Breaker because he's worked him in NXT before and they called him up just to be a squash match. Like, come on. They were considered main roster wrestlers. Therefore, because they were not being used on the main roster, the decision was made to dump them. So, like, listen to Dave. Just like, do you think Triple H is this incompetent? Like, this is what Triple H is doing behind the scenes. Essentially, they felt that he had been a main roster wrestler for a year and they hadn't used him. And if they're not going to use you, you're going to get cut. Do you honestly think that Dave completely fabricated that? Do you think Shawn Michaels and Triple H are sitting there going, well, we kayfabe drafted him to the main roster, and since he's not on the main roster, we'll just cut him. Then why do they send main roster people down to NXT? Dave, you fucking dummy. Jeepers, man.
Dummy, yeah.
Like, God damn it. A Wrestling Observer Radio. Who said this? Dave? Yeah, Dave Meltzer. So that's just so fucking dumb. Triple H isn't an incompetent like you. He would never say or do that. He would never. He obviously factored in that he was a main roster guy. Odyssey Jones is in this draft. They obviously are still using him. We don't know with Odyssey Jones. Oh, where's Odyssey Jones? He hasn't been used. We didn't know with Bray Wyatt, and then Bray Wyatt, RIP, passed away. Where's Odyssey Jones? Maybe he has health problems. Maybe there's something going on. We don't fucking know. But with Von Wagner, Dave's just completely like Triple H isn't an incompetent guy going, well, in the kayfabe roster, we didn't use him. Like, that's such bullshit, man. I can't believe that. So Dave Meltzer goes on to talk more about WWE. And Dave Meltzer on Giovanni Vinci's future after being kicked out of Imperium on Raw. Guys, I don't want to be a hater. I could see Vinci getting released out of nowhere. And I love Imperium. I don't think they'll do it. He's great. But I could just see him being a guy that's like, oh, there's nothing for you kind of thing. People are like, call Dragunov up to fight. He'll replace Vinci. It's like, no, he'll team with Vinci and fight Gunther and Ludwig. Like, you don't, that's so stupid. You don't put fucking Dragunov in Imperium. That's so dumb. Let Imperium, it ran its course. Let everyone split up and do their own things. Anyways, Meltzer's got an opinion on it. He says, I tell you what, I do not like Vinci's chances at all out of this Imperium split. Just the generic bot answer. See, even me, I was like, I could see him getting released. That's a bot answer. I retract that. Vinci's going to be a fucking future Hall of Famer now. Okay, because People are saying it. Oh, Marty Jannetty. He's the Marty Jannetty. Come on. I don't see that for him. I just see them being like, oh, bald guy, peace, got a few of those already, peace. But anyways, he might be gone. And if he's not, he'll get his run with Kaiser. And I don't know what he can do after that. Yeah, fuck you, Dave. I'm not siding with Dave on this. Vinci will feud with Kaiser, and then he'll be a jobber for a bit, or maybe he'll fucking find his own, dude, and just come into it. He takes his body seriously. Obviously, Gunther and Kaiser do too, and they're all boys. And who knows? Maybe this feud goes really hard, and we see some great matches out of Vinci. And I don't know, but I'm not going to side with Dave on this. I'm gonna retract that dummy shit I was just saying.
Dummy, yeah.
Flip flopping like Hillary Clinton out here. And yeah, I think Imperium, I see it in the chat here. They should have got a tag title run, but not everybody does. And maybe Vinci and Ludwig come back together one day, right? That's what it boils down to with some of these teams sometimes, man. Because Ludwig, you can tell, like, they've been giving him his own solo promos. Like, he's ready to break out. Like, we've all known this for a while. NXT Battleground will emanate from the UFC Apex in Las Vegas on Sunday, June 9th. That's where they host the Dana White Tuesday Night Contender Series, and they are fucking phenomenal. Those fights are phenomenal. They're great. For the most part, it's young talent coming in, trying to fight their way into the UFC. So Dave Meltzer goes, I have no idea why they're doing this. The Apex usually holds like 100 people for the UFC. I'm pretty sure it can hold like closer to 500, Dave. They've already proven they can draw 3,000 or 4,000 for these shows. So why go basically do an empty arena show? Dave, why don't you criticize AEW for doing basically an empty arena show or fucking Dynamite? Oh, they already proved they can do this. Well, because, Dave, WWE is going to do a residency, which Nick Khan's been talking about, in Vegas. So they're going to run. And do you think when they do their residency, it's going to be 4,000 people every night? Or do you think it's going to be like 1,000-seater room and they run it multiple times and NXT people can go shake their greenness, and then main roster talent can show up there here and there, and maybe we get like an untelevised little tear, but they're going to do a residency there, you dumb fuck. And they're fucking the same company as the UFC now. So what they're going to do is they're going to test this out. This is the beginning, the imprints of like, okay, our residency show might be where the NXT PLEs are from, or when we do like spring break-in or whatever the fuck they just Halloween Havoc, it'll be filmed out of, because the Apex has their own production TV studio, and we're about to see them clear the octagon out, put the fucking ring in there, and we're about to see something that could potentially be really cool. And because, Dave, their attendance is so good, why don't you call AEW out for this shit, you fucking biased clown? Dude, they're gonna fill this room, and they're going to show you studio wrestling, like what we've been saying AEW should be doing. Like the aesthetic of this Jacksonville show is really great. It was great. So why don't you encourage this, man? This is going to look great on TV. They're going to do really cool production stuff, and it fits the aesthetic of what we're used to consuming when we watch NXT. You don't watch NXT, Dave Meltzer, because you're a fucking clown. God, I'm going hard on this guy today.
Dummy, yeah.
God, I'm going hard on this guy today. So, yeah, Dave Meltzer just really irking me with that one, man. Meltzer said what? Everybody go follow Meltzer said what? Bryan Alvarez in 2019, who famously made Baron Corbin heat, quote, Baron Corbin heat, a thing, is now pretending that Jericho match had great heat. So Bryan Alvarez, and this is sort of a transition WWE AEW stuff. The reaction when Corbin pins guys is hilarious. Just quiet murmuring. What awesome heat. Hashtag Survivor Series. Corbin pins Riddle. The entire match is being booked to piss people off. Hashtag Survivor Series. Right? So then Alvarez talking about at Dynasty, where Jericho is getting chants of please retire. Jericho won the FTW title after hitting Hook with the bat. Crowd hated Jericho, and the match had great heat as a result, and they were furious when he beat Hook. No, dude, he had go away fucking... They were chanting, please retire, dude. So that's not like, again, he's just pointing out dummy Bryan Alvarez cope, And speaking of which, before we fully transition in AEW, this is to piggyback off of that. According to Bryan Alvarez at Wrestling Observer Live, there is zero evidence whatsoever that Jericho has go-away heat because of last Wednesday on Dynamite. His quarter hour increased 4K viewers plus 12K demo at the top of the 9 p.m. hour on the pay-per-view go-home show. If only WrestleNomics had charts to reference. Oh, they do. And then basically at Meltzer said, what? I'm not going to break down these ratings. These are multiple weeks of quarter hours of Jericho. Like there's zero evidence ever that Jericho has go away heat. So not to mention they chanted, please retire at him. But then he's also in the quarter hours. You guys can go follow at Meltzer said what, and you guys can look at this. And it's just the quarter hours break down how people turn the TV off when Jericho comes around. And like Jake said earlier, he's an all-timer, Mount Rushmore. Hey, for me too. But the thing is it's like he's got to go away for a while, and he thinks sticking around is the right thing. And then speaking of Bryan Alvarez, because before we go into coping about Triple H and Ospreay, more of that, I know we're sick of it, but Bryan Alvarez says Mercedes was shown backstage looking at the monitor while turned completely facing the camera, exactly like WWE made everyone do a decade ago. It's almost like this character is some sort of brilliant parody. Oh my God, Bryan, they made fun of that in AEW forever, and then the Bucks started ironically doing it, and we were laughing at it, but then AEW started doing it forever once former WWE production people came in, because when you understand why WWE does that shit, it's because, like, watch a fucking play. Now they do less of that, but it's called staging, and like you have to be facing the camera while facing this monitor with not having your back turned away. I know you guys don't understand that because the hard cam side is fucking empty. Phil is cooking. I'm fucking going right now, boy. I'm going. Hit that like in the chat if you hadn't. They just did their main show, whatever was tonight, in front of 2,000 people. Yeah, and we're not hating on that. Like, good, 2,000 people, but Scully Vibes, they paid people and we're doing big, like 50 ticket giveaways and shit. Who's worse? You'd have to analyze it. I'll analyze it another time. Right now, I ain't analyzing it, my friend, but I'm cooking right now. So go check out Meltzer Said What. He analyzes it for you, okay? He compiles the shit. I just react to it. But yeah, Alvarez being a dummy, he gets a dummy, and he's a part of this segment too. He's just, there might as well be Siamese fucking twins.
Dummy, yeah.
I couldn't find it. New soundboard still. So then Meltzer goes on to cope more. Little baby fucking Meltzy didn't have a Celtsy, and he's coping. Meltzer's coping, man. He believes Triple H blew it over not signing Will Ospreay. Those Triple H comments, they aged like milk. How milk? They aged like milk? Why milk? What do you mean, Meltzer? How? Ospreay hasn't done a fucking rating. He really thinks Danielson and Ospreay's like changed the universe of pro wrestling. No one remembers it except for Danielson got really hurt. People will be talking about Cody versus Roman for the next 20, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. It'll be in the fucking then, now, forever packages. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Anyways, and also podcast comments, real TV comments. Dave Meltzer, you triggered, boy. Anyways, there's no way you can watch this guy and with any kind of straight face go like, oh, he's not good enough for us. His attitude isn't good enough. Yes, he can. It wasn't the attitude. He said, if you don't want to embrace the grind, then we don't want you here either. Otherwise, we'd give you a shitload more money if we thought you were worth it. Dave, you're coping, dude. You're coping. And he never said he's not good enough for him. He just said, we don't want you here if you don't want to embrace the grind. Look at how Dave Meltzer, this old senile prick, just misconstrued and fucking twisted this in his head. Look at this. God, you blew it. You didn't make him the better offer, and that's that. But then with Goldberg, it's just he's asking too much. Fucking cope. Chat, am I right? Phil Marks is cooking. Let's fucking go. Daniel Flores, also F. Bryan and Uncle Dave retire that Wood 5 stars. Hell yeah. We're hitting there. I'm cooking. Phil's cooking right now. Yeah, F them too. And like, I want them to keep making stuff. I'm never going to be like, thank you, Daniel Flores, for the $5 super chat. And I'm never going to be like, put them out of business. Nah, I want more and more of it. It's like Brendan Schaub. He just keeps making a goof of himself, and I'm here to just enjoy it and wish him the best and eat it all up. That's how it is with this with Dave, man. Just keep fucking botching, just spiral, stewed yourself, man. Just completely undid all of his credibility and unraveled it. Thank you so much, Daniel Flores. $5 just to say F Bryan and Dave. It's better spent here on PWT. Okay, because you guys are going to see me at WrestleMania with a giant ass PWT sign. So it's better you guys are, if you're going to give anyone $12.99 chat, you give it to Phil Marks, not fucking Dave Meltzer. You know what I mean? Thank you so much for that. So yeah, just throw in a hissy fit, kicking the he blew it. You didn't make it. Blew what? Blew what? A great athletic competition. If Triple H went up to fucking Ricochet and Rollins and went, you guys know what to do. They'd do a match that could never be touched on. You know what I mean? They could do that tomorrow. They could do that on Raw. So that's not a metric of like, you can't, where's the success? Like, what did Ospreay do? Sell a bunch of shirts? Like, did he pop a rating for this Dynamite? Like, we're not, let Phil cook. Hell yeah. Thank you. So yeah, that's just goofery tomfoolery. Dave Meltzer goes on to say, Bryan Danielson versus Will Ospreay was the greatest pro wrestling match in United States history. In the United States of A, the US of A, okay? The US of America, the greatest ever. Are you guys fucking joking me? Now, we can all have different subjective opinions at Pro Wrestle Times on X. Cook, yeah, we're cooking. 7 stars in the Tokyo Dome, goddamn. Here's the thing. Think about the matches we've seen on American soil. I called it out while live watching the fucking pay-per-view. It's 3 out of 5 stars. I'm so sorry. Like, let's think about it. I can't give it a star for build and storyline and meaningfulness and all of these things that matter. I can't give it a star for that whatsoever. And that's a huge part of it. And then the work itself, I got to deduct a star because this wasn't either of these guys' even best matches, dude. Truthfully. Like, athletically, it was really great, and it was strong style and all of that, but, like, who did this get over? What did this do? Just made Danielson look like he's hurting himself out there. And then you have Ospreay going, oh, bruv, my gimmick is I'm the best wrestler. But then you have such low in-ring IQ, you didn't realize when the guy's so injured that he's shaking and shit. So it was a 3 out of 5. Like, this wasn't either of both of these guys' best match. They both botched things. I don't know, chat. I see the chat lighten up for this too. It's just the best match ever. Let's think about some of them, man. Fucking Hogan Rock at Mania is like one of the greatest matches of all time. Roman Cody just went down. God damn it, man. Like, this was a really good match, but of all time, like, dude, Kurt Angle's wrestled like Benoit and shit. You know what I mean? Think about the houses, like the big matches that have happened. I don't know, man. Like Punk, all of these people, like Randy Orton, you're gonna like above all of that. Now, was this was he couldn't do what they do. He doesn't need to do what they do. This is why Dave buried Trick Mello as well. Shout out fucking Trick Williams, NXT champion. Because he doesn't get it. Like, you don't need to, like, less is more if it means more if you tell the goddamn story. It's just, we don't have to even explain this stuff. We harp on it. Macho Steamboat. Yeah, if you want to bring it back, like Michael's Undertaker, just go over the fucking list, dude. There's been so many, like Austin Rock have been really great just matches when you look at the pacing and the psychology behind them and just think about a moment like when Sami Zayn wrestled fucking Johnny Knoxville. It was a bigger moment than this and in the annals of time of history. Granted, that's a silly comedy match, but it was like a moment. You know what I mean? I'm all about like moments, you know, shit that it's not all about just going viral, but like there was no story to this. This as a mark is one of my big dream matches, Danielson versus Ospreay. And it was just no real build, nothing came of it. Other than Danielson had a seizure, made people uncomfortable, which can be a plus or a minus, but the greatest wrestling match ever on American soil. Dude, a lot of people would take umbrage with that. Like Perk Angle was doing shit in TNA. That was like insane compared to the as well, you know? And this for me too, just going off of being a fan of both of these guys, this wasn't either of their best works. This wasn't either of their best matches, in my opinion, either. Like that's the whole thing. It was botchy, spotty, psychology wise. I don't know. So yeah, Dave it's his boy right now. Ospreay's his new Omega, and Dave's just coping, seething. You are coping, coping and seething. And he's just like really going through it, man, spiraling, just saying unrealistic things, you know. Like, was this even the best match on this card? I know Jim Cornette too put this match over, but I think Cornette's being too generous just because of, I don't know. It was a good match. I'm not even hating on threes, like excellent, you know. For me, like a 3-star, it's like excellent, you know. But like I have to point out the flaws in it because everyone's blowing this fucking match to death and it wasn't that goddamn good. So I sort of skipped over this and I didn't mean to, but Dave Meltzer on the WWE contract statuses of Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. I didn't mean to skip over this one. So Dave says, what I've been saying for a year. This whole year, everyone's Drew's leaving. Oh, wait till Tyler Black and Rebecca Quinn all elite confirmed for the last fucking year. PWT told you. Pack Perry, dirt sheets in the mud. Dave Meltzer on the WWE contract statuses of Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. I don't anticipate them going anywhere, but I have not heard that they've signed new deals. Becky just won the championship, which was not planned because Rhea Ripley got hurt, but I have not heard of any of them signing. Now, people were saying Becky's going to take a break and then Rhea got her and she was, I don't think Becky wasn't taking a break. That's all bullshit. People who know her know that that's bullshit. And I'm telling you right here, that's all bullshit from the dirt sheets. Anyways, though, I know Drew had not signed as of a week ago. That's the last update I'd heard. You think Drew's leaving? He's about to get into a huge money match with CM Punk. Oh, yeah, let me just leave before then. I can't imagine him leaving before the Punk thing. Good, Dave. Smart, Dave. I mean, there's always a chance, but I don't anticipate it or anything. What all of these people are going to do, and WWE's going to let them do it because they've earned it. They're going to go talk to AEW, get Tony Khan's really big number. Then they're going to go back to WWE with the number. WWE will match it or perk them up or whatever. And then that will be that. And then WWE is going to keep all these people. You can't at all think like just for their family, like Becky and Tyler Black, as the AEW guys like to call him, right? Seth Rollins. Yeah, let's just go back to the virtual fucking indies when I have crowds of 80,000 fucking, what was it at WrestleMania? 70,000 people singing his shit at WrestleMania. And this guy just won the world title and then is in a huge money match that doesn't even need a world title with CM Punk. But these dummies are even contemplating this. This is what drives me fucking insane with these dirt sheets, in my opinion. Well, this guy, in my opinion, but PWN, why? Are you insinuating, is this an AEW guy? Are you fucking insinuating that, you know, like it's like, dude, no, they're not leaving WWE. I'm telling you that right now. And Becky was never supposed to have time off. That was never supposed to happen.